As Regimen said the words, there was an eruption of fire and smoke pouring out of the location like an explosion, spreading out and beginning to whirl around like a tornado, reaching into the skyline. As things finally began to clear and the tornado began to slow, Regimen and his doppelganger stood there in a field of fiery red energy that surrounded them for dozens of feet around as it slowly retracted inward towards their form. Your favorite combination, Ultimate Mage, the 5 strokes, utilizing the first magical weapon you ever received from your predecessor. 3 construct magical abilities, exceptionally powerful magical utilities that grant their wielders incredible powers, depending on the desire that they wish for them. You had all 3 chained together to create a construct ability system that allows you to manufacture construct abilities. Though the effects are only temporary, they are exceptionally powerful. Through great trial, effort, and experience, you were able to increase your level of capability to that of an S-tier mage, with which you were able to maximize the number of construct abilities that you could carry at any given time and develop many combinations. However, the Ultimate Mage is always your favorite. The use of 5 temporary construct abilities, Magical Generator, which gives you a near infinite amount of magical energy. Magical Amplifier, which amplifies the effect of all magic you cast. Almighty Body, which increases your physical strength and speed far beyond that of any regular human being. Magical Booster, which amplifies the amount of magical energy that you can carry. And Magic Armor, an ability which drastically amplifies the power of your magical protection, keeping you safe from even the most powerful of attacks. With all 5 of these combined, your abilities are more than 10 times that of your average S-tier mage. But your spiritual fragmentation also receives the bonuses from these temporary construct abilities. So in essence, I am fighting 2 magic casters each, possessing 10 times the power and ability of the average S-tier mage. An exceptionally powerful combination of skills, which against nearly any other mage would prove absolutely too much to handle, the All-Force said as it stared Reginald down. I think the time for talk has come to its end. Actions are the preferred method now, Regimen said, as with an explosion of speed, Reginald and his doppelganger burst out, moving at rapid pace, more quickly than Delius had ever seen him move before, as him and his doppelganger split apart, moving in separate directions. As soon as they did, Reginald began firing off the gun in his hand, massive bolts of red light firing from the end, far larger than the ones he was using against all of the aliens that he was fighting on the way in. However, the All-Force dodged them with ease, slipping between them as if it were nothing at all, as they passed by into the distance, setting off huge explosions for each shot, bursts of fire and destruction in the distance, as Regimen's doppelganger swooped in, wielding that golden blade. Asgard, Grand, Imperial, Maximize, it exclaimed, as the golden blade erupted in red light, beaming out in all directions as it slashed at the All-Force, the blade glowing so brightly red that it was next to blinding. However, the All-Force blocked it with ease, extending its hand and slapping the blade away, to which his doppelganger simply continued to attack, one slash after another, all of them bouncing off, being parried away by the All-Force's hand as it continued to shift through Reginald's blasts. When suddenly, Reginald's doppelganger began to back away, rapidly making pace away from the All-Force. But his blade was a different story. The blade that extended from the golden sword he wielded, glowing that bright, ominous red, extended out just as long as he moved away. And as he did, he began lashing it, as there was some sort of flexibility to the light. The blade still lashing out at the All-Force as the doppelganger moved away, like some sort of razor's edge whip. The attacks raining down on the All-Force in rapid succession, whipping about, cutting and tearing into the ground around. Every time the All-Force parried the blade away, it would slash into the iron-like earth that they stood on, seeming to cut through it like butter. The pattern of the blade was erratic, unstable. It seemed next to impossible to read, and yet the All-Force did it all the same, blocking every attack with ease. It was at that point that Delius noticed that Reginald hadn't fired a shot in some time, at least 10 or 15 seconds, and as he looked about, trying to find him with his eyes, he couldn't, before, in the distance overhead, Reginald appeared in a flash of red, aiming down that iron gun towards the All-Force. "Catastrophe cannon," he announced as a bright ring of flaming symbols seemed to wrap around the gun, extending out into a brightly illuminated flaming seal that seemed to weave itself into the patterns on the gun, and a massive eruption of red fiery energy propelled itself from the gun down towards the All-Force. The red light was blinding as it flashed in its direction. The All-Force was still parrying away the doppelganger's attacks, and, as shocking as it was, suddenly the All-Force grabbed the blade, that beaming red blade of energy clasped tightly in its grasp, as red surges of lightning seemed to propel from the location where he grabbed it. With his other hand reaching up, the blade now still, the massive blast of energy heading directly in his direction and location, falling down on him like a meteorite. Yet all he did was extend his hand up to it. As the blast impacted, it was as if he caught it, as if there was some sort of siphoning, a whirlwind of rainbow energy that seemed to pull all of that red light and fire into a single condensed point in his hand, a beaming red ball of energy no bigger than a marble. As with what seemed like no effort at all, he simply threw the light over his shoulder, casting it off in a random direction as it rapidly flew into the distance, impacting with an absolutely massive explosion, sending shockwaves of dust and debris and fiery hot wind out as the explosion rung in the distance, as Reginald suddenly disappeared from his location in the sky, appearing right next to the All-Force. "Meltorius Elatragata, Grand Imperial Maximize," Reginald said as he slammed his hand into the ground, snapping with his other fingers, leaving his gun whirling but for a moment, as a massive symbol seemed to appear on the ground beneath the All-Force, beginning to grow and expand, as Reginald quickly jumped back, grasping the gun in his hand once again, snapping his fingers as he dissipated into the distance. "Clever, Reginald," the All-Force said as it looked at him, appearing a distance away, as a black bog seemed to form itself beneath the All-Force, appearing as slime or sludge, as cold black and irony as the surrounding ground, bubbling and curdling beneath the All-Force's feet. "A gate to the absolute abyss, a realm that devours all energy that exists, the slightest touch of which will sap the life force from any living being. Even an S-ranked mage would be dead in a matter of seconds if they did not quickly break contact, the All-Force said as it stood still within the bog, the curdling black ooze walking on across it as it moved towards Reginald. But no matter how great the thirst for energy the abyss may have, when your energy is infinite, its hunger means nothing, the All-Force said as it walked across the abyss, finally stepping off of its surface as it walked towards Reginald. Simply because I do have energy does not mean you can drain it away, because just as all universes are infinite, so too am I, and thus cannot be expended. A clever choice of tactic, but in the end, useless.